We're in our home in Georgia, and I'm painting a room. This home was built in the mid-50s by my wife's grandfather. In the 70s or so, there was wood paneling put in, and since then, about 15 years ago, the paneling was painted kind of a cream colored, and we're going to paint all the rooms different colors rather than just have the one color that's kind of off-white. And I'm kind of in the middle of it, just getting ready to paint the walls. I've already painted the ceiling. The ceiling had cracks between the tiles that showed pretty much, because the last person who painted didn't use that much paint or push the paint between the tiles very much. And I'll show you this other room that hasn't been repainted, and you can see what I'm talking about on the tiles, the ceiling tiles, acoustic tiles. They're I used a 1/2 inch nap roller and kind of pushed the paint between the cracks to make it look more solid. And we've been using Benjamin and Moore paint, and the ceiling paint was pretty good. I only needed one coat. And so since I did the ceiling, there's I don't know if you'd call it crown molding because it's not very wide, but there's some trim up there, and I went ahead and painted it a waterborne alkyd Benjamin and Moore semi-gloss paint. And I pushed the paint on the bottom into the wall, and I'm just going to cut in the wall with the blue paint we're using. So that'll save me from having to cut in that little lip on the bottom of the crown molding, I guess if you'd call it crown molding. We got hardwood floors in here, and they were put in probably about 10 years ago, and there's a little bit of cord around that I decided I want to paint it the trim color, so I have to decide whether I'm just going to cut it in with a brush, would probably look better, or use tape. I don't usually use too much tape, but I might tape that floor just to speed things up a little bit. I think I'm going to try it in this closet first, and if the paint seeps under the tape very much, I might do it differently in the main bedroom. Here in the closet, it still had the dark brown paneling, and I primed it with Zinsser 123 water-based primer, and it has good adhesion. It seemed to adhere pretty well. I could take my fingernail and can't even get any off, and it had this galvanized pipe, and I'm primed it up, and I'm going to paint it white with a trim color. And the closet rod doesn't really come off unless you took these big nails out of this these boards that are holding it, and they're pretty rough. I was thinking of painting them white too, but I might change that and just paint them flat brown or something if I have the paint, and because they're so rough I don't know if I want to paint them with that semi-gloss trim paint. And I skipped over doing, that's what the paneling looked like before I primed the other part, and I skipped this part because no one very often walks inside a closet and looks at this part here. And since we're the homeowner, I can get away with it. But if I was doing professional painting, they'd probably want it painted too, I suppose. And this house was built in about 1955, and there was only one receptacle in each room, and we've had receptacles added, and I just thought that was a point of interest that each room only had one receptacle. But anyway, so the window is going to get the waterborne alkyd semi-gloss white, as well as the baseboard, and the crown molding too. I think I'm going to paint it. I'm just not quite sure how I'm going to go about it yet. And that cord around, and this small trim up here, this crown molding, if you want to call it that. There's different ways to go about doing that. You could just do it freehand underneath that bottom lip with a brush, and it take quite a lot of time, even for a good painter. You could use tape, and not very many painters recommend using tape under the bottom. And I just decided to go ahead and paint underneath there and right into the wall, and then just, it'll be easy to cut in the wall and right under where that lip starts. And I found that I'm using a contractor grade eggshell Benjamin Moore paint for the walls, and I found that that semi-gloss waterborne alkyd paint, it won't flash through that wall paint, and so it's really not a problem. When I did another section of the house, and we kind of changed up on colors, what we're going to use, and I had brought home that pale looking blue for the walls, and we decided it was too pale, and we're going to go with this one, which is, I had some more pigments put in a couple of gallons we had, and I'm going to go with that on the walls, and that's going to be the trim color, just the white. And I use 1 gallon of paint on the ceiling, and this is about a 12 by 12 room, and I still had a little bit left over, and it covered it pretty solid. And I think the Benjamin Moore ceiling white is wider than the Lowe's, and it covers better, is what I found. And on the paneling, some people kind of like that paint and primer all in one, but I like using separate primer. It seems to work better when I'm back rolling it, which I always like to back roll. It's almost like putting on 2 coats. And so I'll do another little video when it's done, and I might put on my wide angle lens and see how that works with the camera. Anyway, that's where I'm at so far. There's my materials. I got about 2 gallons of the wall paint, and I'm planning on putting 2 coats. And I may have to go back and get some more. I don't know, because we want to do the blue in this little hallway here. In that other room over there, I'm going to do a light yellow in that room over there. And we thought we'd do the hallway with the blue, because from the living room you can see this bedroom in part of the hall, and so that's why we decided to go with the blue for the hall too. I'm using a couple different brushes. They're both Purdy's, and one's about a 3-inch sash tool, and one's about a 2-inch, and then I've got a Worcester roller covers. I use 1/2-inch nap on the ceiling, and I'm using 3/8-inch nap on the walls, which are really paneling. And I made me a little cut-in bucket. I took a can opener and took that lip off of the paint can, and this plastic is working pretty good. And I got a couple different extension poles, one short one and one a little longer, and I got a shop light over there, and I use that in the closet, but I'm not using it so much out here in the bedroom. And I just got some drop cloths from Lowe's, so the cheap ones. They're plastic on one side and kind of a durable type paper material on the other, and not using too much tape, a little bit here and there, but I might use it on the floor. If I do it in the closet and it looks pretty good, I might do it all the way around if it doesn't seep under the tape. And I got some little 6-inch roller covers for the trim work in the doors, and I guess that's about it. And I'm going to make another video when it's done, and show everyone what it looks like. This is that light there is where there was a ceiling fan. I took the blades off, and so I guess that's about it for now, and we'll see you in the next video.